In the last 3 to 4 months, crypto has given us many emotions and it's really starting to toy with us, even if you've been in cryptocurrency for a few cycles. Now, if we just look at most of our coins across the board in the last 3 months, we are down massively since January, and we all know that. We were promised somewhat of a historical start to the bull run. The Trump coming election, winning the November run, we got off to a great start, but as we enter January, February time, he has almost been causing cryptocurrency to get wrecked with tariff news, potential recessions coming in, and it's honestly been one of the worst starts to the year in a traditional bull market. Because if we just look at Bitcoin, Solana, Sui, and Render, you can see that we had this historical run, in the November time. It was absolutely great. And then we had some big whoopsie doopsies. Solana was an absolute great coin to be in. You hit all-time highs, breaking the 2021 bull run of about $300. And now it's at $125. So it was great. Went up to over $5. And now we're pretty much cut in half. And obviously Render is having a big whoopsie doopsie for solid projects that are in solid narratives that I still believe can make you a bunch of money by 2025. And it's almost funny how crypto can completely mess with your head to the point where you start to doubt yourself in literally a couple of months, although nothing has changed bar the price of our assets. And a lot of us did not see this coming. And again, I'll show you this because I don't like showing this, because I don't like to check this as much as possible, but it really just reminds me on how far we've came in cryptocurrency. If I look at the last 90 days on my personal portfolio for my spot positions, and I'm only telling you this because I want to be real with you, in the last 90 days, my portfolio has went from $1.2 million to $750K. That is down $450,000. And I just want to put that into reality, and I didn't really want to say this because it kind of hurts a little bit, but I've kind of accepted it. Back in the day at my gym job, I used to work at Exercise for Less in East Kilbride. I would make around about 1,000, 1,500, great rich pounds a month, about $18,000, $20,000 base salary. You would never make much on commission because you were selling low-level memberships. And to put that $450,000, obviously it's in dollars, not GBP, but you get the point, that is about 20 years of hard work working at that job to equal how much I've lost on paper in literally under 90 days. And I just want you to think about that. I've just thought about that and I'm almost crying inside. Or I've never really thought about that or really shared that with you guys out loud, because a lot of us crypto guys, and even me, we like to think, oh, we're the best, you should buy our product, you should watch our channel, etc. But I'm showing you this to show you that I'm in this with you. I'm not just some random guy on the internet. Maybe I am to some of you guys that are brand new, but I'm investing in this with you, right? I am here to ultimately change my life for the better. But in the last 90 days, it has changed my life for the worse. I didn't take profits at the peak of January. Nobody really knew it was the peak. A lot of people, smart people, maybe took profits. But for me, I've always played this run as a 2025, October, November, December back. And I'll be honest, that is a tough pill to swallow, especially looking at this chart of my history in the last 90 days. Like again, 20 years of my old job gone in under 90 days. And I can only imagine, if my mum was watching this video and I read that exact sentence to her, I have lost $450,000 in the last 90 days. It would be one of those things where I don't know if she would, beat me with a stick because she's traditional, or she would just sit and cry. And the reality is, although I'm down 450K, you can see my all-time profit here is 449K. So yes, I'm down, but I've also made 449K since I started investing heavily in 22 and 23. So it's not all bad. But yes, it would have been nice to take profits at 1.2 million and buy back in again, because ultimately I would have more coins and I'd have a way bigger portfolio and way more coins to do damage in by this bull run. But like I said, nobody knew that we were going to take this massive dip. If I knew, I would have fucking sold, and I would have told you guys, not financial advice, spiritual advice, I think we're going to have a rocky 3 to 4 months. But I didn't know. I thought we were going to be off to the races, or at least maybe chill a little bit. But I didn't expect so much downward action, especially in our altcoins. And if I was to ask myself on Bitcoin's chart the question of how far can this market really get, and if we are still indeed in the 4-year bull run, because I remember the last bull market when I really started to get heavily in profits in 2021. I remember May, June, July, August of 2021, Bitcoin alone went down over 50%, and then you had altcoins, Ethereum start to get wrecked, and many other gaming coins that I was in go down 80, 90%, like Bitcoin going from 64K to under 30K in a matter of months. And then obviously we turned tides and we started to push up for the traditional bull run, right? And that was, it seems such like a long time ago. And when you look back at this and you're like, oh yeah, I would have just held on. But now we're almost entering, in fact, we're nowhere near entering 50% discounts. Bitcoin would have to go down way more to the 50K levels. But as you're in the storm and you have real money in the game, it feels way worse. It feels so painful when you go and check crypto prices every single morning and nothing really happens but our downward action. So I asked myself the question, and I asked you guys the question, if we were to repeat this cycle, we still have a long way to go. And we have a long way to go down if we do get a 50% discount or an over 50% discount on some of our altcoins. Again, taking Bitcoin to around about the 50K levels. And that could be good or bad depending on how you are as a crypto investor. And now this is good if you can handle more pain and you have cash from your day job or maybe you have savings, etc., and you want it to deploy into further altcoins. But it's also bad if you simply can't handle the pain that we're in now, let alone 20, 30% discounts, or even more drops on some of your more speculative altcoins. Because that would be more than like a 30 to 50% dip. And that would hurt a lot if especially you're feeling like that right now. Because here's another analogy that I wanted to kind of draft up for you guys, and I think this is going to be super valuable, is you don't know what you don't know. So when you're in crypto, you think you can see everything, but in this kind of iceberg, you don't know what you don't know, and what you don't know, you definitely don't know. So the iceberg of cryptocurrency knowledge, imagine, I want you guys to think when you're sitting at home here or listening to this video in your car, in the gym, whatever, imagine you're sailing the ocean and you spot an iceberg, right? And above the water is what you think you know about the current cycle, mostly cryptocurrency, but just the current cycle that we're in. And that could be building a solid portfolio in narratives you like. Like, we all know how to do that, right? We all know to DCA. Basically, everyone should know that the first thing to a successful bull run is having your bag spread in a nice way. You have your safe coins that are going to do well for a bull run that will guarantee a good run, and then you have your lower market cap plays that will make us print if we get an alt season for the next bull run. But also you have the iceberg that you don't see just below the surface, and that's what you don't know. And that's things like understanding there are going to be dips across the way, and it's going to feel so painful. So managing your fear and emotions and turning those negative emotions into positive thoughts, like, okay, well, I can buy this coin for X amount, and in the last month, with the same dollar value, you can buy more of that coin for your dollar GBP value. That's kind of like the second point that nobody really gets to because everybody feels fearful. But then deep under that surface is where people get this wrong, and especially in the last bull run, not knowing how to take profits. The stuff you don't even know, especially if you're brand new in a cycle, like navigating a 4-year cycle and taking profits so you don't get burned and round trip it down like a lot of us did in 2021. In the last bull run, an example, Bitcoin had to go to 100K for me to take profits. Ethereum had to go to 10K. HBAR had to go to $1. And again, if you look at these coins in the last bull cycle, we did so fucking well to not take any profits, at least for me, and I know a lot of subscribers watching this channel were in the same boat. Like, we were up so massively, we just got so greedy. Same with Ethereum. Ethereum went from pretty much C19 prices of under $100, 80 or so dollars. To not take profits on this if you were in those levels was just ludicrous, waiting on price predictions. HBAR, again, another solid project that's done me well now because I did the hard work in the bear market of 22 and 23. To not take profits was an absolute stupid and just such a waste of an opportunity to come back in and rebuy again like I'm trying to do for this 2025 bull run. Because I believe if we look at coins right now, the average person, we are blessed with being given this market of cryptocurrency. Like if you look at our mum and dads, our great grandpas, etc., they didn't really have this. They had stock markets, etc., but they could have bought Amazon back in the days, but they didn't have a blessful of opportunity where they could come into a market, a free market, buy coins just literally from their phone and get rich. But it's also the caveat to that is they can completely change your life in a bad way by not understanding how cryptocurrency bull markets work, plus also invested in like scam coins and like not bad pre-sales, but you know what I mean, where like you don't understand tokenomics, you don't understand like, you know, how to do a MetaMask and set up your wallets, etc. So it's obviously the Wild West for people that don't really understand. But if you do understand basic stuff, like cryptocurrency is a great vehicle for opportunity for people alive today. Because again, there's so many stories in 2021, literally thousands of individuals that completely changed the reality with cryptocurrency. Like there was an investor in Shiba Inu that turned $8,000, I don't know if you remember in the news, and he turned it into 5.7 million by October in 2021. So not even selling the peak. Like this happened, and this was just a random guy that chose Shiba Inu along with his other portfolios that became a liquid millionaire and taking profits, so understood that, 5.7 million is great. I would have cashed out way before that. In fact, I wouldn't have in the first bull run because I would have thought, okay, well, 5.7 million is better, 10 million is a lot better. But this guy obviously had experience in like saying taking profits. That's enough. I'm kind of done. I've kind of set myself up because you can do a fucking lot with $5.7 million. You can't do a lot with $8,000, bar from pay rent for a couple of months, maybe pay your electricity bills. Like, it doesn't get you far, but 5.7 million, it really sets you up. And there were several people from the last bull run that I even knew personally that rigged coins like Axie Infinity and Solana in the last run that will never have to work a day in their life again. And also there was guys that bought the peak of this coin that will have to work the rest of their life again because they lost money. So again, you're buying the same coins. It's just sometimes, in fact, most of the time, you can get a completely different output depending on how you are as a crypto investor. And again, even today, we're blessed with thousands of opportunities, like coins like Virtual's Protocol, that literally gave you 100x returns in under a couple of months, but it also got you down 90%, depending what side of the chart you were on. And older people, at least the ones I speak to, at least, I think my mum and dad here, they don't really get this. Like, I think of my dad, he always just goes to me, even today, well, just buy property, buy stocks. And the truth is, he's not wrong. You can get rich in these other vehicles for sure. But number two is, people don't understand that the game of buying a house, even using mortgage, etc., for the average person today is almost impossible, in my opinion, to get rich in today's time. Even investing in the S&P 500, like, you should do that, but you need a lot of money. In my opinion, you should ride cryptocurrency and then do that. Because again, 10% is great, but 10% of $1,000 is not going to get you anything. At least by the time you're 20s, 30s, 40s, it's going to take a long time. But I want you guys to tell me how the average person is going to get rich in today's world with these house prices. Like, because most people have under 10k in savings, and that's just the harsh reality. So they can't even get in the door with properties, especially in the UK. Like, here's some houses in Glasgow city centre that aren't even top tier houses, like 325k, 230k. That's GBP, remember, so it's a lot more in dollar value. And here's some prices in London that, again, are not millions of pounds to buy, but, average houses in London, these are 1 bed, 1 bathroom apartments. There's one here at 725k, there's one here at 375, there's another one at 625k. If the average person has 10k in savings, you can't even get a mortgage in this house. So again, how can you do this, or how can you get rich in today's economy if you're starting out, especially with less than 1 year, like you can in a cryptocurrency bull run? Again, we can touch this stuff after. Like, this is a great way to preserve wealth and get rich the long way. But again, after the bull run, if you get out with a few million or get close to $1 million, you should go and do this. Fantastic. But we can't even get in the door. Like, our mum and dads could buy these places like 50k back in the day, which is still a lot of money, but they could work their way around it. And now that house is worth what these are today. But in today's generation, you're either going to say, oh, well, your mum and dad are so lucky to buy a house at these prices, or you can say, well, we have cryptocurrency, we are so lucky. So again, it's just a quick point where you have to kind of like, okay, well, everybody has different opportunities, but in our opinion, or at least in my opinion, you have the chance to buy solid projects from the comfort of a Wi-Fi connection on your phone. And if you know how to play a cryptocurrency bull run and you can handle your emotions and fear, you can literally get rich from your mobile phone. Or you can panic sell, you can get fearful, and you can round trip, and you can use cryptocurrency and say, oh, well, cryptocurrency is a scam. It didn't work for me. Because there's many examples and many coins that are going to happen once we get a Bitcoin recovery that are literally going to change people's lives for the better. It's only going to be the guys that paper handy today and starting buying Bitcoin and back above 120k, 140k, if we get there, that are just going to be in the same situation, if not worse, than they were thinking about today. And again, I believe for the average person, we are blessed with being given this cryptocurrency market and our time as a vehicle to completely change our life. Because again, here's our options in all scenarios. Number one, the peak was January and we are entering the bear cycle. The next 4-year cycle is broken and it's 2 years of pretty much shit. Now, I think that's unlikely, but it's good to obviously talk about that because that is potentially a scenario, but I still think that's super unlikely. I don't believe that's going to happen, or I would have sold by now. But what are you going to do if that is the case? Now, number one, if your portfolio is in low caps, it's going to be a disgusting ride down. You still might have 90% down, 70% down in this altcoin, and most of these coins will ultimately die, like we've seen in 2022 of 2021's peak cycle. But if your portfolio is built up of solid coins like Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, BNB, Solana, Render, etc., I think most of these coins will survive. And then it's going to be the ultimate case of just doing nothing and then just handling the bear cycle and just buying if you can, and then rebuying lower. That's another option that you could do. But most likely, what I think is ultimately possible, we're going to go down for maybe 2-3 more months, maybe 10% here, 30% in some of our coins are going to bleed out a little bit longer before we kick back up again. But you can either DCA or you do nothing and wait. But again, the 4-year cycle, if that is still in play, we get Bitcoin to move again back up above the 100k, and then we get that alt season, and that's how you can literally change your life and get rich. But my point is, time in the market always, most of the time beats trying to time the market, especially if you're just an average crypto person that you just want to do nothing and just wait. Because you only get rich being in the market by buying lows when you see opportunities. If you're out of the market, you're ultimately doing nothing. You're not really getting anything unless you were to buy back in lower. But a lot of people that were crying 3 months ago saying, I wish we could get prices at these today than we were at peak of January time. But now nobody's buying, and all the retail people that were saying it are actually continuing to sell. And it's just funny how that works, because again, there's so much fear in the market right now. Because most people will leave cryptocurrency and come back in at higher prices, unfortunately. And again, we've seen that in 2021 after the May, June, July kind of crash. They sold, and then they started to buy back in at 60s, 65k before Bitcoin would ultimately hit the top. Now again, I still think we are ultimately on track to a run very soon. After all the weak hands have sold, and obviously Bitcoin will get its due time, and then we'll get an alt season. We need to get rid of liquidations and all that kind of stuff, and ultimately we will be on track. Now that would ultimately give us around about 6 months to really have time to set ourselves up before the peak of the run, if we do get the 4-year cycle still being valid. But if you want to see another video that I made a week or so ago, and this is going to really talk about the next 6 to 9 months or once in a lifetime, and I genuinely believe that, I'm going to leave a link on the screen right now, and I want you guys to watch it if you are serious about taking this cryptocurrency kind of storm that we were in, to go and pick up some good opportunities, and what my kind of thoughts are on all the points we just discovered today in a little bit more detail. But I only believe this is where the time where you're going to be making it in cryptocurrency, or cryptocurrency is going to break you if you are still in the market. And again, if you can do this and take all the stuff we've talked about today and the stuff that's in this video that's on the screen right now, at least what I can guarantee you is you're going to be more at peace with your portfolio. And if we do get more sideways actions, downward actions, ultimately, I do think the recovery is still on play. So again, go and watch the video on screen now. I'd love to see you over there, and I'll see you guys in the comments below. Peace and take care. And obviously, guys, just stay safe out there. Again, if you believe in this market and you believe we're going to be okay for 2025 bull run, it is not the time to be fearful. You should be doing the opposite of what most people do, and we'll be on the way to plain sailing. Peace and take care.